Taormina is a thriving town on the east coast of Sicily. The historic town centre sits on the top of a cliff edge and is surrounded by the natural beauty of the coast. With magnificent views around every corner, it's easy to see why this place is very popular with tourists. Could this hilltop town be the most beautiful one in Sicily? I'm Nicola, and I recently closed my bricks and mortar store to explore some of Europe and the UK. Join me as I discover the beauty of Taormina. Uniquely divided in two, the historical heart of the town sits on a cliff edge high above sea level. Equally impressive and at the foot of the cliffs are Taormina's picturesque beaches and its breathtaking island. Starting at the historic town centre, Taormina is perhaps most famous for its theatre. The ancient Greek theatre was originally built near the cliff edge in the 3rd century. It was later expanded by the Romans and is the second largest theatre in Sicily. The breathtaking views are a sight to behold, and I wish we had visited on a sunnier day. The Ionian Sea and Mount Etna certainly add to the beauty and drama of this historic site. It's incredible to imagine so many people sitting here hundreds of years ago enjoying a show or a gladiatorial battle. You can buy tickets to visit the theatre every day, and it still hosts a variety of events throughout the year. In the heart of the old town is the lesser-known Roman Odeon. This theatre is much smaller, and for a long part of its life, it was completely lost. It was accidentally rediscovered in 1892. A full excavation reveals what we can see today, both behind and inside St. Catherine's Church. Built in the 17th century, this church is one of many in the historical heart of Taormina. The churches and the Odeon are both free to visit. It's very easy to navigate your way around the historic centre on foot. You're never far from a map, and wherever you roam, you'll find interesting buildings and magnificent views. Corso Umberto is the main street in Taormina. With its modern shops and choice of mouth-watering cuisine, it is lined with places to eat, drink and shop. Prices vary, but if you want to dine with views of the sea or prefer a cosier spot on one of the side streets, you are spoilt for choice, and you may even be serenaded. Liccio's Bistro was a good spot to eat. We enjoyed a couple of fresh pasta meals and octopus salad. The carbonara was hands down the best one I ever had. A little further out from the hustle and bustle of the main street is Bar Pirandello. This place was very popular with locals and was very reasonably priced. It was a great place to people watch with a coffee. All the pastries are handmade, and it was also a great spot for gelato.
It's so smooth and full of flavour.
Woo! They serve lots of Sicilian staples, including arancini. Many of the shops sold marzipan fruits, a delicacy in this area. At both ends of Corso Umberto are the two main gates, Porto Catania and Porto Messina. Halfway along the street between the gates, you'll find the incredible main square. Standing on the black and white tiles, you are surrounded by magnificent churches, a clock tower, places to eat and drink, and the most breathtaking views of the Ionian Sea and Mount Etna. The historic town centre is a beautiful place to visit, no matter what time of day it is. Although, while we were visiting in April, the clock tower had stopped, so it was permanently 10:20. On the main square is the Church of St. Joseph, a Baroque-style church built between the late 16th and early 17th century. Away from the main street and square is a lesser-known lookout point, which is definitely worth a visit. Even turning your back on the view and looking back at the viewing platform, it still looks fantastic. Of course, highlights are Isola Bella and Mount Etna. Do you think this is one of the most beautiful places to visit in Sicily? Please do let me know in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your recommendations. From the lookout point, you can follow a footpath all the way down to Isola Bella. It's a beautiful walk offering different perspectives of the coast. You can also access the bottom of the cliffs by road, including a regular bus service, or by funicular. We decided to enjoy the walk down and to catch the funicular back up. Isola Bella is a beautiful island. It's a nature reserve and you can buy a ticket to visit the island, although we didn't on this occasion. It's accessible by foot by a narrow sand causeway. Although this may look like paradise, I won't sugarcoat it. We were constantly harassed by people asking if we would like a Thai massage, and so unfortunately we left the area much quicker than we had expected. We continued along the coast and walked to Mazzaro Beach. It was fairly secluded during April, although I can imagine it would be incredibly busy during the summer. It's a pebble beach set in an enchanting inlet and is located a very short walk from the Funicular ticket office and entrance. The Funicular connects the beach area to the historic heart of Taormina. It runs every 15 minutes and costs €6 for a single ticket or 10 for a return. Tickets for residents are highly subsidised, which was a little annoying with the two-tier pricing, but the ride was most definitely worth it. We were lucky enough to have a cable car to ourselves, and we were surprised by how quickly it zipped up through the air. The views were incredible and it was a fun way to travel. Carl felt like he was part of a James Bond movie. Construction of the cable cars began in 1928 and I am pleased to say that it has been renovated several times since then. It was a bumpier ride than I expected, but that made it all the more exhilarating. We're always keeping an eye out for vintage vehicles when we're travelling, and we saw this lovely Fiat 500 cruising around the town on a couple of occasions. We saw this happy bride and groom taking a ride along Corso Umberto too. It's usually pedestrianised.
This is the main entrance to the public gardens.
The large cacti, exotic plants, curious follies and magnificent views are a delightful place to visit and a great escape from the busy central streets. It also boasts one of the best panoramic views in Taormina. The garden was the work of Queen Victoria's cousin, Lady Florence Trevelyan. She was an English gardener with a love of tropical plants and birds. She built this magnificent garden with a quirky mix of follies constructed from different kinds of stone.
The cacti are twice my height.
You can now find an original World War II submarine and monuments in the park. It's free to visit and is a great spot to enjoy a picnic or some pastries. There's something weirdly satisfying about saying the words nut truck. Go on, try it.
3, 2, 1!
Nut truck. Located just around the corner from the bus station, this hard-working man sold plenty of nuts from his truck. Enough for the nuts. I'm signing off now. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel to see more of our adventures. In May, we're exploring some of Tuscany.
There are several ways to get to the beach.
And this overgrown path is not one of them.
It's a long way down.